What's going on, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. And I got quite a bit of interesting information for you guys today that should let you know where this is all headed. And then I'll bring up the fact of how there's a lot of things and they're just the perfect storm, like we've been saying, is coming. And so, however, a lot of the young folk are too busy with these ideas of socialist communism regimes, and they're fantasize over how this would be better, but in reality, it's not. It's a race to the bottom. So listen to this very simple experiment that puts that idea to the test.
Let me tell you a scary story. An economics professor at a local college made a statement that she had never failed a single student before, but had recently failed an entire class. The class had insisted that socialism worked, that no one would be poor and no one would be rich, a great equalizer. The professor then said, "Okay, we will have an experiment in this class. All grades will be averaged and everyone will receive the same grade. No one will fail, but no one will receive an A either." After the first test, the grades were averaged and everyone got a B. The students who studied hard were upset, and the students who studied little were happy. As the second test rolled round, the students who studied little studied even less, and the ones who studied hard decided they wanted a free ride too, so they studied little. The second average test result was a D. No one was happy. When the third test rolled round, the average was an F. As the test proceeded, the scores never improved, as bickering, name-calling and blame all resulted in hard feelings, and no one would study for the benefit of anyone else. To their great surprise, all failed. And the professor told them that socialism would ultimately fail, because when the reward is great, the effort to succeed is great. But when the government takes away all the reward, no one will try or want to succeed. And that is socialism, my friends, a race to the bottom.
And that's what it is. It really is. And that's why when people start fantasizing about these ideas because they're lazy, they don't want to work, they want everything handed to them, they think that, oh, this would be good, those rich people, we need to tax them, yada, yada. It's like, no, you don't understand what you're asking for. And so they fantasize about these ideas, and if they only studied history and paid attention to what happens to societies that go down this route, or even in modern day, go check out these countries that are operating under that regime and see how good they're doing. They take for granted what they have, and it really gets me upset when people, the younger generation, goes and fantasizes about these things, So anyways, on to the next topic. Here's the planting of the seeds of future blackouts to the, population about, having occasional blackouts. It's good. It's going to help climate change. And so here it says South Africa beats climate goal as blackouts slash emissions. And South Africa emissions are falling ahead of a 2025 target. So they're trying to meet those ESG goals, folks. And eventually that's going to come here to the States. Make no mistake, our power grid is very fragile. And so first it'll come, as, oh man, these, winter disasters or this and that are really hard on the system. There's something we got to do about it. And then it's just going to become a constant, and people are going to get used to it. Here is recession surprise investors every time. It always looks like a soft landing until it doesn't, and that's when minds are changed. Too soon to declare it's different this time, as so many have done so before. Behavioral patterns repeat across history. And here, if you don't study history, you're bound to repeat it. October 6, 2007, Friday's stock gains were fueled by an unexpectedly strong employment report, which appeared, suggesting that the economy has enough strength to avoid recession, and boom, went down. September 18th of 2000, a raft of economic data released Friday continued to portray an economy gliding toward a soft landing of slower growth and stable prices. March 10th, 1990, the economy generated many more jobs in February than analysts had expected, suggested a rebound from recent stagnation. And, there you get the inevitable results. So, you got to pay attention to this. Now, here's where we get to the meat and potatoes of this video. So, there's an LTL carrier called Yellow. And many of you know the UPS strike that was avoided last year, 2 years ago. And if that comes home to roost, we have serious problems, folks. Serious problems. Because right now, as it stands, it's pretty bad. So let me just go read through this so you can kind of get the magnitude of this. So most don't understand. So actually, before I read this, let's read this. 30,000 employees will likely be laid off next week when Yellow, the third largest trucking company in the U.S., shutters its door after nearly 100 years. Rest in peace, Yellow, Roadway, USF, New Penn. Okay, folks. Third largest trucking company is going to close its doors after 100 years, and 30,000 employees are going to be laid off. And this guy says, most don't understand how huge this is. People in logistics do. I own a transportation company for over 20 years, longer than I trade. Has been worst year in transport I've ever seen. But this, if it goes to cleaners, is big supply chain mess. Largest LTL carrier in USA, Walmart, Uber Freight, Amazon, etc., just to name a few using them. So Walmart, Uber, Amazon, they're all using this carrier. Lots, if not all freight that is in them warehouses through states could end up on eBay. 30,000 employed are majority drivers, would be flooded of them into job market too. But most important is the freight that's laying down in trailers, warehouses, cross docks will be frozen, lots of theft, etc. This is beyond interesting how it will play out. This can't be replaced overnight by other carriers. They were way too big. So, check out this guy's reaction finding out that Yellow Freight is being kicked out of a Central States pension fund. And this is a man who worked for 30 years, just being told he'll no longer have a pension.
Nobody tell me to calm my ass down. Fuck everybody tell me to calm down. God damn it, this is my motherfucking money y'all playing, right? You're right, Dwayne. Fuck that shit. So this is what I'll say. You gonna tell me how to motherfucking feel. Fuck that shit, man. So this is what I'll say. Fuck that shit. Anytime the government bills are...
And so this is what people don't understand. These pensions, so these companies fail to make payments on their financial obligations regarding pension payments, it affects all the employees. And if they go bankrupt, boom, there it is. Like, it's gone. And people who've worked there for 30 years, all of a sudden, will they see that money? And that's what folks, like I've been, ringing this alarm on what's coming. A lot of older folks who've been working all their life, all of a sudden, if they're in the 401ks, the market completely shatters, and goes down. All that time they've been working, all that money, gone. And that's what people don't understand. Here, reportedly 510,000 truck drivers have stopped driving and 50,000 fleets have ceased operations in the last 14 months. This is wild if this is true. So right here, you see the chart. The capacity purge is happening, but not all drivers are leaving the industry. So you see how it's declined in the last 14 months, 13% of active motor carriers and active drivers. So there's problems in the horizon. So what's happening is large, it's big in scale, and I think we need to pay attention. And so a lot of all of this needs to be taken not lightly, but with much severity. And that's why I say, folks, prepare, even if it's one day at a time, because it's coming fast and it's snowballing, and you got to be prepared. Alrighty, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.